And a characteristic of all these small businesses is that they don't keep proper financial records. They don't. That's the reality. They don't have accountants, and they don't want to pay accountants to keep proper financial records. But now you are forcing them to go and impose an additional cost for them doing business, an additional burden by hiring these high-priced accountants to file their returns to the Commissioner of Inland Revenue. I think, in all honesty, Madam Speaker, that is a retrograde step. It is a retrograde step, and I do not think that that is a good initiative. Reduction in corporate tax, I'm happy to see you have done that. But you have not kept to your word in this agenda for change. Because I crave your indulgence, Madam Speaker, on page 8, it says we will reduce the corporate tax rate to 20% beginning January 2005. It didn't say to 30%, and in some instances 27.5%. You see, maybe boy quote this and not you, Honourable Minister, so I forgive you. Foreign exchange transactions, reduction of stamp duty and residential mortgages. I have no quarrel with all those giveaways. I have no quarrel. But the Honourable Minister needs to come and let us know what is the loss of revenue from these reduction in taxes. And will the loss of revenue in these reduction of those tax measures, we're not talking about the dog license, nobody ever paid that, whether that loss of revenue will be amply compensated by the proposed personal income tax and the sales and excise tax. We need to know those figures, and I'm sure in his winding up, he will enlighten the Honourable House and the country, because those factors are critical in deciding whether or not that this budget is a reality or it's a farce, whether it's realistic or it's unrealistic. We need to know, Mr. Minister. The IMF report also, Madam Speaker, it made mention, there concerns the Article 4 country report about the school meals program. It is not for the school meals program and not for the uniform program, but UPP, true to their word, they promised the people of this country, and they're living up to that promise. I commend you for that. But don't come to the Honourable House and tell us that it's going to cost $4.5 million, when you very well know that the school meals program is going to cost in the vicinity of at least a minimum of $15 million. If you intend to give, am I correct? I mean, if you, unless my mathematics and I can't count, but if you intend to give 10,000 primary students, and how many students there are? 10,000? A nutritious meal every day. The cost of that meal, you can't buy a nutritious meal for less than $8 to $10 minimum, Madam Speaker. I mean, you're looking at $100,000, Madam Speaker, per day. And times what? 200 days? I mean, you're looking at $20 million. But the Honourable Minister told us $4.5 million. So I stand to be corrected, but I want some explanation from the Honourable Minister. Also critical to the success of the budget, Madam Speaker, is the proposed $650 million write-off in public debt that the Minister so eloquently stated that he is going to accomplish. Again, I think that this is unrealistic, overly ambitious. If you get $650 million written off in 12 months, Mr. Minister, I think you would have done this country well, and you would have earned it. We'll wait to see. Time will tell. Reduction in mortgage rates by Antigua Commercial Bank. We've got to be careful with that, Madam Speaker, because this measure could also lead to an increase in bad credits for the bank if other banks do not respond by a similar reduction. And then you will create an unnecessary pressure on the Antigua Commercial Bank profitability and their viability. And we know they're already very vulnerable. Government over the years has had to show up the Antigua Commercial Bank and place millions of dollars of social security funds on deposit in that institution. And we have done so because we believe in our indigenous organizations. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. But they've made money that they're in the business of lending, you know, Prime Minister. They're in the business of lending. Proposed increase in pensions, I have no problem with that. But I would have preferred to see a comprehensive pension reform package. Don't just come and throw a figure out and tell us this is how much millions of dollars you're putting in the estimates for pension reform. Come and tell us what is the comprehensive pension reform and how you're going to fund it, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, apart from the personal income tax, which I'm totally opposed to, and I could never in all honesty support, because I think it's unnecessary. I think it's unnecessary. I don't have a problem with paying, Madam Speaker. I'm saying that you are reversing 28 years of a custom pattern in this country that is embedded in the psyche of the people, that they do not have to pay personal income tax. Madam Speaker, the efforts to cut the government wage bill will undoubtedly, Madam Speaker, result in widespread job loss. And I heard the Honourable Member for St. George today. I was watching on television. It looked beautiful. And Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member for St. George said that we are going to achieve this mainly through the reduction or the cutting out of overtime. But you know, Honourable Member, that is not so. That is not, you're fooling the people. That is not going to save 20%. And in the estimates, that don't even save 5%. And in the estimates, the Honourable Minister of Finance he has cut the allocation for salaries, personal emoluments to public servants by 20%. Now, how much people we employ in the public service? Not roughly 13,000 in total? And 3 in the other statutory boards and governments.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member is misleading this Honourable House. I outlined a number of measures. In which we propose to...
Point of elucidation.
What's that?
Elucidation.
Point of elucidation. Sorry. There were a number of measures which were outlined this morning in which we propose to reduce the wage bill by 20%, not just by overtime. So I'd prefer if the Honourable Member would become familiar with the truth and speak the truth in this Honourable House.
Misleading.
Madam Speaker, I'm sticking by what I said. I am saying to this country that the UPP administration intends to send home in the vicinity of 2,600 public servants. That is 20% of the public sector. We employ roughly 13,000 people. And you're saying you'll cut it by 20%? That is 2,600 people. Well, let the Minister of Finance tell the IMF and the World Bank he don't intend to send home 2,000 people. Let us know. We offered voluntary redundancy. We offered it. We offered voluntary severance. Scarcely anybody took it up. They're not going to want to offer voluntary severance. And the other point is, Madam Speaker, I won't disturb me, man. The other problem is, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Allow him. Ladies and gentlemen, allow him.
Madam Speaker, I'm saying to the people of this country that hard times are about to come. You're inflicting pain and suffering on the people of this country. And you're going to send home people. No matter how you dance, no matter how you jump, you're going to send home people. We never sent home nobody. Not one single public servant was ever sent home. But you don't send home 80 people from the court, 50 people from CMC. Public works, he victimized all the people from Parliament Place and send them home and replace them with his people from St. Philip's South. That can't be right, Madam Speaker. What kind of caring government is this that closed down a job program? A job program that young people was on and sent home 200 young people and put them out of work because they vote for Labour? That is not right, Madam Speaker. That is a government that is uncaring. That is a
Allow him.
Victimization as their hallmarks. Yes. And then you tell me that our Prime Minister loved the people of this country? Yes. Madam Speaker? Oh, Lord. Madam Speaker, as a result, the economy is likely to contract. In the face of rising unemployment, it is evident that the economy, with new personal income tax, with new sales tax, and no mention has been made, Madam Speaker, of the cost of the severance pay and the timing of the payment. Is it Uncle Alan going to pay it? Tell the country the truth. You want to know where you're getting the funds from? You preach transparency and accountability. Those are the hallmarks of the UPP administration. Well, come clean and tell us how much it's going to cost us and the source of your fund. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the concessions now. The granting of concessions, the Honourable Minister of Finance says, will be capped at $100 million in 2005. However, this measure, Madam Speaker, has the potential to turn away attractive potential foreign investment. You can't just willy-nilly get up and say you're going to cap at $100 million. And look, listen, this is not Asset Micah getting up here and pontificating. PricewaterhouseCoopers put out, I'm sure the Honourable Minister of Finance has seen it, they put out a publication dated November